Happy Friday and welcome back to another colorful Keto with Dory. We have got the most exciting day on the go today. I don't even know what to tell you. Okay, so we are live. I just got a message. We're here. We're waiting for you, girl. I'm just going to respond real quick so she knows that we are live. Oh, there we go. We are in. Let's do it. I'm so excited. Oh, best Friday ever. Just saying. Best Friday ever. So let's get all connected. I'm going to get myself adjusted because all of a sudden I'll be too tall. That's how that works. Hello, darling.
Hello. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm so awesome. It's the best Friday ever. I'm going to put that out there and say we get to hang out together. Officially, like, best Friday.
Yeah, it's a good Friday.
Yes. So why don't we start with introduce yourself so that some of my people know who you are, and then we'll talk about what we're going to share today.
All right. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Sherelle, and I also go by the name Sensuously Fit on Instagram, Facebook. That's my handles for all social media. So basically, I'll give a little bit of background about myself. I'm actually a PhD student right now in biomedical sciences, completing my 5th year, my PhD. On the side, I also started entrepreneurship, where it focuses on health and fitness, teaching people how to properly do the ketogenic diet, but then also other diet styles, and then also just incorporating fitness into their lifestyle.
Excellent. I love it. So today we're going to talk about lifestyle and mostly specifically low carb, because I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but it's very well documented that endurance athletes need carbs. I Googled it. I Googled it yesterday when we were chatting about it, and it says it's very well documented since the 1930s that you increase your physical output by increasing carbohydrates. So I want to talk to you about that because you know what the experts say, and I couldn't find any actual research, just that it's very well known. It's well known.
I don't want to refute that because that is the case, because that's what we know mostly about. That's the research that has been done. But for low carb diets, there really aren't very many studies done on it to have the same type of backing the way that high carb diets have. I was actually looking last night for more papers on this, and I found one paper that I found kind of laughable because they actually were able to publish this. They had people do the ketogenic diet for 4 days.
Oh.
And compared that to 4 days of high carb diet, then had them do exercises and compared it to one another to determine could you perform better or as well as somebody on a high carb diet. I was 4 days on the ketogenic diet. Do you understand that you're not even in ketosis in 4 days?
Well, you
of
know,
course
like
they do well, and it's comparable as the high carb diet people because they weren't even in ketosis, and they were switching to a fuel source that they don't normally use. You're on high carb, then you're switching to fat, and you're trying to adapt to that. You're not adapted yet, so no, you're not going to perform as well. But, I mean, this is the types of studies that have been done. It's very few. Like, I literally scoured PubMed, which is what I used to use to search for papers, and there aren't very many out there to back us on this. So, I mean, I do have to go with what's out there right now, that high carb diets help you to perform better, but it's not necessarily the case that low carb diets are excluded in the fact that they can also help you. And I'm one of the exceptions, you could say, but I know a lot of different ketogenic athletes as well, not just myself, that have performed just as well on the ketogenic diet as they would if they were on a high carb diet with no issues whatsoever. So that's my experience.
Well, and let's talk a little bit about carbs, because even if you subscribe to the idea that you need to carb up to be able to have better performance, does that mean wheat? Does that mean grains?
Right.
Can you carb up? Yes. Like, could it be broccoli? Broccoli's a carb.
I thought about that too as well. I'm thinking, well, if you have vegetables in your diet, are you still getting the carbs enough in that you can still perform on that? I mean, does it have to be the higher, more complex carbohydrates in order to perform well? So I think what it really is at the end of the day, it's glucose that comes from the carbohydrates that you need. And so you still get the same thing from eating your vegetables. It's just you don't have to have the same, makeup of it. So you don't have to have the rice to get the same benefits. You don't have to have, the sweet potato to get the same benefits. You're still taking in the carbohydrates, just in a different, route.
Now, I have a question for you because my niece recently started training for marathon, and she had a lot of questions because one of her friends who was in the marathon is keto. And she said, Auntie, what do we do? They say you need all these gels and the powders and the goo to keep you going. Right. So what do we do instead?
So I just ran a half marathon 2 months ago, and I did that on keto, the entire way. I never carved up. I never went to get sugar to help me throughout the race. And I actually finished it at a very good time, sub 3 hours, for the half marathon. So it's like, you don't have to have carbohydrates. And I know that's the first thing that people tell you for long distance, especially, you got to keep your sugar up. Oh. What she needs to do is, caffeine is going to help her a little bit on that race. So you can throw in some sugar-free Gatorade, which is what I had when I was running. So you want to keep your sodium levels up. You want to keep your water intake in. So at those stops, there's critical. Take in a little bit of Gatorade, sugar-free.
Yes.
Take in a little bit of, if you can, what else? I didn't have any food on the run, but one thing that I made sure I kept up was the sodium, because you're going to be sweating a lot. So make sure you continue to replenish that. But the thing is, when you're in keto and she's in ketosis, she's going to be constantly burning the fat as she's running, so it's going to be providing the energy sources she needs, and that's how I felt. I felt fine the entire race. I never felt like I needed to stop and have a replenishing of my sugar levels because I was running for so long. So that's my experience now. I had no issue whatsoever needing to carb up during the race, and I felt fine after it as well.
Okay.
No issues whatsoever. But the sodium is one thing she does need to make sure she monitors.
Okay. So this is what I did. I made her a little care package, and I put some Go Ultima packets for her because they're really good. And then Flow Sports sent me some samples of they're just magnesium, potassium, salt, a little bit of caffeine in there. So I've got those.
That's about it. That's really all you need. And that's going to be just fine for the race.
Now, my other question was eating, right? Because they want you to have the gels. And I suggested if she felt the need for something, because chances are you won't, but nut butters or MCT oil packets or, something that's just a fat.
MCT oil and water with her, or she can have, like you're saying, a nut butter packet, because it is a little bit longer. That the full marathon is a little longer, so she might want to have that half the way in. Just refuel some of that fat that she's burning on the way.
Yes.
So I would agree with that. She packs like a little, packet they wear around their waist. I actually had one of those too, and just throw little tablets in there, or a little packet you want of your nut butters, and keep it going. That's
excellent. So let's talk a little bit about how sugar burns as opposed to how fat burns. Because when I hear somebody say you need to carb up, you need to sugar up, I immediately think it's because you get a really quick burst and then crash. And you have to boost up again because you're crashed.
Exactly how it is.
So let's talk a little...
because you want to have that quick energy for that performance at that particular time. And then you have your stored glycogen, you have your stored fats, your stored sugars.
Yes.
You have that. But when you want to carb up, the point is you want to hurry up and get those carbohydrates in your system so that you're going to go, let's say, hit some heavy weights, or you're going to go run, for a long distance or something like that. You want to prepare yourself to be able to do that. And not necessarily like you say, for instance, you don't always just carb up right before you do the thing. You might do it a day before. Okay. And then you have the stored glucose in your system so that it's already ready for you to do that long endurance run or that high intensity workout, So that's what it usually means. But then it also can mean I'm going to go work out right now, so I need to hurry up and take some carbs in to help me get through that workout. Maybe because you haven't been eating earlier in the day, or so you're low, because it spikes as soon as you take in the carbohydrates.
Yes.
Your body's going to be using it for that workout. So essentially, that's the purpose of carving up, is to get those stored glycogens to your muscles and to your system, so it's ready for you to use. But the thing about when you're doing ketosis, you're constantly already burning that stored fat. You can still take in more. So like sometimes when I work out, I'll do like a little bit of MCT oil while I'm working out just to help break down some fats and get into my system really quickly, because I'll notice like if I take MCT oil while I work out and I do like a check for my blood ketone levels, they're higher during that time. So I can see that I'm constantly already breaking down that MCT oil and using it right when I need it. So this thing can be done if you're doing ketosis versus high carb, carbing up right before a workout.
Okay.
And you still have that same energy source.
So what I had read the other day, and I was kind of doing a little bit of research on this, is that when you are fueling on sugar, your body has about 600 to 700 calories worth of energy before you need to re-up. But when you're burning fat, you have a more even level of energy at all times, minus the spikes. And they said calorie-wise, you had closer to 1,700 to 2,000 calories worth of energy stored. So do you find that that is what kind of pushes you to the next level when you're doing the workout?
Because you have that stored.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're saying you're referring to the stored energy from the glucose or the fat?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And what I read, they said that they were different, that glucose stores less and that you need to replenish more frequently, and that
you only have about like a 24-hour supply stored for the glucose.
Okay.
But fat-wise, everybody has excess fat.
Not me.
Some of them never are really, low on fat unless you're under eating severely. So you always have that source to be able to break down and continue to use. But for glucose, you don't store it that much. So you have to continually replenish it so that you can continually use that as your source of fuel. That's the difference for fat versus carbohydrate eating.
Okay. So now my question would be, is it because of how quickly the energy breaks down? And I'm not a big workout girl, and I never carbed up. The only thing I could even use in my back brain memory was back in the day, I used to work 12-hour shifts, and I would have a chocolate bar every day at 2 o'clock because that was the little burst of energy that got me through that last 4 hours of my day in my 12-hour day. Like at the end of 8 hours, I hit the wall, I would eat the chocolate bar, and I would have just enough burst of vavoom to get through the day. Now, I know that's not healthy. I know it's not good.
Yeah, we all been there.
But I think that's the only way I equate it in my brain. So is it similar with how quickly carbs break down? Is that why they give us that sort of instant?
Okay, think about it like this. Let's say, like what you're saying, you're starting to feel sluggish. You know why you're starting to feel sluggish? Because your sugar level is dropping.
Yes.
You had some carbs earlier in the morning or earlier in the day. It helps you get through that point of the day. But then all of a sudden it starts to go down, starts to spiral down.
Yeah.
Then you're like, more sugar. So then you have to re-up on the sugar again. And that's how you continue. That's how the carb cycle works. You use it for the time you need it. And if you're not using it, your body's storing that as fat.
Yes.
So it's either immediately you're going to use those sugars, or you're going to store it as fat. But then you're going to crash still. You're going to feel tired and sluggish. And then you're going to eat that sugar again. It's going to get you back into what you need to do. And then it's going to go down again right after that. So that's how the cycle continues. So it's you carb up so you can get that burst of energy. Your body uses it what it needs, and then it's going to store the rest of it as fat. And so essentially, I think you're actually on the better end of the deal if you're using your fat, because you're actually using it for energy and breaking it down. And in my opinion, that's a little bit of a better fuel source. This is just my opinion. I think both, do what you want to do. Is my opinion on that.
Well, and at the end of the day, we all have that BS sniffer. Right? Like, at the end of the day, we all get to sit down with the same information and be like, okay, does that make sense for me personally? Right. Or does it not? Because you can Google it and you're going to get a million answers. and you may or may not agree with them, but at the end of the day, I mean, we can share our opinion, but what works for me might not work for you, might not work for...
I never want to preach to people that they have to do keto, or they have to do vegan, or they have to be vegetarian, all those things. You have to do what works for you. It's your, lifestyle. So it's like whatever you feel like to be sustainable is what's most important. And a lot of people function quite well on high carb, and they have no issues. But then a lot of people abuse the system. They eat a lot of sugar still, and they say, "Well, I can't go low carb because I have to have my sugars." It's because you really never given it a shot, so you don't know. And when you do it, you don't commit to it fully, which is another thing that's an issue. So it's like, find what's sustainable though for you. So if you can do high carb and actually still lose the weight, go for it. If you can do keto and you can lose the weight and it be sustainable for you, you should also go for it. So really, it's just your preference,
Do you know what? I love that about you, and I think that's what we bond on the most, because I really don't care. If you're making healthy choices and it is working for you, I'm on your side and I'm your fan. And I'll do anything I can to help, because I don't think that we benefit the community by being so strict in what we think is okay. Like, if you're not keto, then you're not cool. And not only if you're not keto, now there's all these subsections, right? Like, if you're not carnivore, keto, if you're not vegan,
keto, you got lazy keto, strict keto. It's like, there's so many different pathways now. It's just like, okay, guys, do what works for you.
Do you?
That's like, just go for it. Whatever makes you happy is what works, that's how I feel about it.
Well, and as long as it can be something that you can commit to, because in all honesty, if you are, hey, I'm gonna do keto for a month and lose weight and then go back. Now, I want to talk about this a little, because I saw this comment in a group today, and I laughed so hard. The original post was, could someone please tell me why keto makes my boobs disappear? And I was like, girl, I feel you. Like, I feel you. I do. Like, and I'm like, well, but everything shrinks, right? Like, everything goes. But somebody commented this: I wouldn't do keto because as soon as you go off, you're going to gain all that weight back. And I was like, duh.
That's a common misconception. And here's the thing. A lot of people, like I said, have that issue of not being able to commit, and that's the issue. So you get off keto, and then you go back to the lifestyle that you used to do. But when you were doing the lifestyle before, you weren't being strict. You weren't being cautious about what you were eating. You were just eating all the sugar and all those things that you enjoyed. So you're going to get off keto, and you're going to go right back to that. So yes, you're going to gain the weight back. You weren't having any discipline. You were disciplined on keto because you had to be. There was, strict, things you had to cut out. So you couldn't, do that. But now you're going back to your other lifestyle. You're not going to be strict and disciplined on it. You're going to enjoy all those things that you did before. So that's what gives keto such a bad rap too. It's like, well, I'm going to get off of it, because I got what I needed from it. But now I'm going to go back to what I was doing before. But you have no structure and nothing to go back to,
No.
And that's another thing that I really, dislike about what happens when people get off keto, because it just gives us even more of a, bad name. Yeah, sugar is a drug. You're right. Keto.
It is. It is. Sugar is a hell of a drug. It is. I never even realized how much sugar I was consuming. Like, now when I look back on it, I think, there was a time when I would drink 6 pops or soda, if you're in the States, 6 pops a day. And you know what? 6 pops a day wasn't even a big stretch for me.
Orange juice, fruit juice, all those things.
Oh, yes.
Every day just consuming it, and people don't even realize how much sugar is in that, and a lot of added sugar as well. It's not even just natural sugar. You'll get these orange juices, and it'll be like, 15 grams of added sugar, and then people think, I'm so healthy, I'm having my orange juice for the day, and it's, it's like, and some of it's like 10% juice, and the rest of it is, added
garbage.
And it's like, it's just a drug. It's like, if it's not soda, it's juice, and that's another thing I try to get people off of. Just don't do the fruit juices. It's no better than soda, honestly. It's just a bunch of sugar. And
I would rather treat myself to a small amount of fruit then
Real
consume.
fruit, exactly.
Yes, real fruit, you know, and mostly I just do the berries. That's what's strictly keto, but I won't lie, I'm at goal. I allow myself a small amount of low carb fruit. So that includes watermelon, cantaloupe.
You feel like you can do that without going overboard.
Yes.
And so you can't, but you can, and that's great.
Yes.
That's what you do what you can. You know, do what works for your lifestyle. And so that's good. Me personally, I don't usually eat fruits, but it's just because I don't really like them that much anyway. but I feel like if I were, I can do strawberries, I can do blueberries, and I'd be fine. But some people can't do that. They feel like they still need to go the extra step. They want to have a banana in, or they want to have a pineapple, because they just can't handle that sweet flavor without wanting to go a little further.
Yes. So. I saw a Day of Eating video that recommended a personal-sized watermelon as part of lunch. As it was like the whole thing. She ate the whole she ate the whole thing as part of lunch with lime on it. And she was like, wow, I'm so full. And I was like, oh my goodness. Like, how much sugar is that? Like, I bet she felt fantastic.
Sugar, it's still a lot of sugar. Unfortunately.
And I say, if you can, portioning is a big deal, right? Some people, like, I can eat 3 grapes. Like, I can literally eat 3 grapes and be okay with I ate 3 grapes and stop myself. But if you're the kind of person that can't not eat 5 pounds of grapes at a time, then you might not want to have grapes ever. Right? Like, you might not want to tempt yourself. So let's talk a little bit about that. Knowing your boundaries, knowing what works for you. Because a lot of foods are keto acceptable. They're keto acceptable, but they don't work for me. Like peanuts. Some people say peanuts are okay. They don't work for me.
But you know what I do eat a lot of? I eat a lot of cashews. And some people will say, you can't eat cashews on keto. You know, it has high carbs. So
well, they do.
It's like, well, I actually can handle it, and I have no issues with it. I still stay in ketosis, but some people can't. So you got to avoid the cashews if you can't do it. Like you're saying, the peanuts. I don't personally eat peanuts on keto, but I do eat peanut butter. So
yeah. Yes. So let's talk a little bit about that, because everybody is of the mind that if you want to be in ketosis, you need to keep your carbs exactly 20 or under, no exceptions. That's it. If you are at 20 carbs, you're in ketosis, you're keto AF, you're doing it, you're losing weight, everything is happening, and ACEs, that's all you have to do. So let's talk a little bit about that, because everyone has their own
Everybody has their own threshold. That is very true. For instance, I'll do up to like 30 or 40 carbs a day, depending on how I feel. Sometimes I keep it at 20, sometimes I'll go a little higher. Then some people count net carbs, and some people don't count net carbs. So it really is different per person, and everybody responds differently to that. What I suggest is get a blood ketone measure. Try some trial and error things. Can you go up to 50 carbs and actually stay in ketosis? Maybe you can. Can you go down to, and then maybe you can't. Maybe you have to go down to 40. Maybe you can go down to 20 and just stick there. But everybody's threshold is very different. So it's not, there's no set rules that you have to be at 5%, and that's 20 carbs a day no matter what. So I would say play around with it, check your blood ketone measurements, and see exactly what works for you. That's my personal opinion on it.
Okay. Now, this question, and I don't think, this is just from my own dory head because I'm a weirdo. Does it make a difference what kind of carbs you're eating? So, for example, will it make a difference if I'm eating, cabbage or almonds? Does the type of carb make a difference? Or is that dependent on each person as well?
Okay. Well, I don't feel like the type of carb matters in that case where you're saying, like, where should I get my carbohydrates from? Okay. But I feel like the nutrients in the carbs matter. So if you're not eating, broccoli, or you're not eating spinach or anything leafy and green and getting the fiber and the other like vitamins you need, then I think that's an issue. Okay. So if I'm only going to eat almonds every day, and I'm never going to eat any other type of carb, you might have a problem there. Now, will you still get the carbs in that you want to have for the day? Yeah. You probably still get some fiber from that, but you're missing some other key essential nutrients that you need. So I think that's the main issue there, is trying to find that correct balance of getting those nutrients that you need. Or you're supplementing with pills either. I mean, I don't know what else you'd be doing if you're not eating it. So that's really keto and still stay in ketosis.
Yes.
I mean, you can do that. Hey, go for it. So that's what I'm saying. You can, as long as you can get what you need to get in, that's what's important. Get those nutrients in no matter what.
Okay.
Now, the correct amounts each day, to get everything in that you need, vitamin-wise and nutrient-wise.
Yes. So how do we decide that? For example, if I'm looking at my plate, or I'm just starting keto, I'm brand new. What I know is my percentages. I'm supposed to have 75% fat, 20% protein, and 5% carbs. So how do I decide what's the proper nutrient dense food? How do I decide when I'm looking at my plate?
So what I actually go by when I first started, and what I still do for other people, is you can use the daily recommended nutrient levels for a regular diet that you can on keto. So say, for instance, you have to have a certain amount of vitamin A for the day. You still need to try to get that vitamin A in for the day, no matter what. And so that means you need to probably throw in some more broccoli today. Or you might throw in some more cauliflower, whatever you can get that particular thing you need for the day. So for instance, but then everybody else has different breakdowns of their protein, and they might have a different breakdown of how much fat and where that's going to come from. So that's where it starts to vary. It's like, okay, so where should I get my protein from today? Or where should I get my fat from today? That's where it starts to change up a little bit. But at the end of the day, you still want to hit the same daily recommended intake of your vitamin and your nutrients for the day. So that's where it starts to say, well, am I doing that correctly? Do I have, today, did I eat any, like, for instance, did I eat anything green today? Because certain greens have certain types of nutrients in them. Or did I eat anything that contained vitamin C today? Because maybe I didn't do that, you know what I mean? So it's like you want to try to hit all those things for the day just by going by the daily recommended daily recommended vitamin intake for a normal diet. That's what you want to do. And so that might also mean that you might take supplement a little bit, because you might miss that ketogenic diet. So try to get all those in. Like, we have issue with potassium, or we have issue with sodium, so not getting those in. And so we have to try to find a way to supplement those things. I think the first thing you do is think about always eating the most nutrient-dense foods.
Yes.
So choose better options. That's what I want to say. So, say for instance, a lot of people like to go with the hot dogs and the pizzas, toppings. Well, did you get anything healthy today? Yeah. A little bit more nutrient balanced in there today. That's what you got to focus on. So, am I eating anything that's going to fuel my body in a better way? Because there are always better options out there than just having a hot dog or pizza toppings. That's what I would look at it.
Okay. And I find for me, I let my body lead in what I eat. If I'm craving Brussels sprouts, I know I need extra Brussels sprouts. But I find there are some days where I eat, really heavy veg, and I don't seem to eat as much meat. And then there are some days where I'm like, all I ate was meat and fat all day. So is that okay? Is that something that we should avoid doing?
Okay, but I feel like as long as you at least balance it out throughout the week, then you're okay. Like you're saying, you might have a vegetable heavy day. Yeah. And then you might have a meat low day. But it's still, just try to get in what you need for throughout the week and balance it all out. Because at the end of the day, it's calories in, calories out, but then it's also still nutrient balance and all that stuff too. So you can get it in on one day that you might not get it another day. But try to just have a complete balance throughout the week. I think that's what's important. Make sure you just don't eat packaged bars all day, because that's very popular in keto. You want to try to eat real foods that contain real nutrients, no matter where that proportion might come from for the day. Just get it in throughout the week at least. Hit those macros that you want, that you set for yourself.
For me, I find the easiest way for me to focus on my plate is fat first. And it sounds silly, but my first thought of the day is, if I'm going to make myself a meal, my first thought is, what fat do I want? Ooh, am I making bacon fat? Am I using butter? Am I using coconut oil? And that's my first thought.
Your source of fuel is fat, so you want to think about that first, and that's fine. So you want to figure out, where is my fat going to come from first, and that's excellent. I like that idea.
And what's your favorite fat? Because I want to talk fat for a minute. Let's chew the fat.
You know what? Actually, my favorite fat is olive oil.
Ooh, okay.
on everything, and I put it on food after I cook the food. I don't cook with the olive oil.
Okay.
And I don't seem to have an issue with the flavor of it, because some people might think it changes the flavors of things, but I don't have an issue with it. And I like the way olive oil makes me feel. I get my fats in. It's high fat, very good fats. So I really like it. And after olive oil, I think I really like avocado.
Two of my favorites.
Having avocado for breakfast every day now, and really loving it.
I can't eat the avocado, but I certainly love its oil. Like, I don't know. They just weird me. I don't know if it's the flavor or the texture. I think it's a combination of, like, I don't dig it. But the oil, man, I love your oil, avocado.
You know what? I don't even use avocado oil. I need to try it. So I think I'm missing out.
I love it.
I know.
Have you tried olive oil in your fatty coffee? I tried that last week. It's really good. I was actually shocked. It tastes so good. And it was the Keto Road, because I'm doing a Eat More Calories challenge with him. So I'm upping my fats. And I thought, well, I won't lie. I was out of every other kind of fat in the house. And I thought, well, olive oil it is. And it was so good. Yes.
I've never tried it. I've had MCT oil, everyone else has. But never olive oil or any type of other oils in my coffee.
Give it a shot. I've tried MCT oil. I've tried coconut oil. I've tried ghee. I've tried butter. Bacon fat is my favorite in coffee. Oh my God, bacon fat coffee. I love it. I think the only thing I haven't tried in my coffee is lard. I think that's about the only fat that I've not tried. And I'm going to try it just because. It doesn't seem to have any flavor, but pure lard is a great fat. So what the heck, I'm going to try it.
You opened me up to a new idea. I've never tried that before, so I'm going to give it a shot.
I'm so excited. So what do you have up and coming in the next couple days, couple weeks that we can watch for? Do you have anything exciting going on?
Well, guys, so just keep watching me. I'm actually prepping for a bodybuilding show right now.
Yes.
It's actually going to be in April, so I have about 13 more weeks to go. But every week I post updates on it, and I let you know how I'm doing. And of course, I'm doing it completely keto, so everything I do is always keto. And sometimes I'll share the foods that I eat on it, because a lot of people want to know, how do you bodybuild on a ketogenic diet? Because that seems like oxymoron. You need carbohydrates to build muscle, right? So I'll share that all the time, so you guys can check it out as I go throughout that journey. I love sharing. And also I like to share my workouts, so feel free to check in. Every Wednesday I've got a free workout posted. I posted the exact instructions how to do it. Find my Instagram and copy it, and then go ahead and do it yourself. And I love to see stories of people doing it, and I'll post the story on my stories if you guys complete the workout. So everyone's
And speaking of recipes, we're gonna do Keto Wars. You and your amazing husband have a team. I have to go love it.
Recipe, actually. But we've got another one. Don't worry, we've got more recipes.
So if you guys don't know
me and my husband, Food for Winners, he's a chef, and we like to cook keto things. We also like to cook other things besides keto for him, because he's actually not keto. But we are hooking it up for Keto Wars, so guys, check us out. He's Food for Winners on Instagram.
That's right. So if you want to vote for their team, all you have to do is enter your recipe, #Keto Wars, #Team Sadist. How did we do it?
Fit.
Yes, Food for Winners.
It's a long
It is. Dory never says a small amount of things, though. Like, I never say a small amount of things. And the meme looks so gorgeous. So, you can't forget it by the picture. You guys are amazing.
Yes.
And you are doing such great work in the community. Plug your podcast, too, because you guys do that as well.
I don't own my own podcast, but I recently did one with Coffee with Curls. It's a good podcast, so guys, check her out. Her name is Coffee with Curls.
Okay.
And we did it, me and my husband went on her podcast just recently, and it's the first episode, I believe, that's recently downloaded, so go check it out, guys.
Yay! Well, thank you so much for your time, and thanks for talking to us about working out and carbs, because everybody knows I don't do that. Like, I just
know that you can do keto and still function in the gym. You won't be sluggish, you won't be tired, but know this though, I do want to plug this. If you are just beginning keto, you're going to have an issue in the gym because you're switching over to a new fuel source, so your body's not adapted yet. You're going to be a little tired in the beginning, just like the keto flu. That happens to everybody. So don't jump right into high intensity workouts for that first week, maybe even 2 weeks. But once you get past that hump, you're good to go. Get
awesome.
into ketosis, you're flowing. So don't worry about it, guys. You can do it.
We appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have an amazing weekend.
Oh, thank you very much. Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Thanks, doll. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. There we go. So that is live number 1 of the day. Guys, we have so much going on today. I don't even know where to begin. So we have at 7 p.m. we're going to get together with Josh, the Bacon Man, and we're going to talk bacon and the egg. And then we're going to get together with Coach Jonathan Shane, the Keto Road, and we're going to talk about metabolism. What's a metabolism? Coach Jonathan, what's a metabolism and what does it do? We're going to talk about it because I don't know, is it kind of like the spirit thing? You know, it's something like that. I'm pretty sure of it. So we're going to talk about that. And between now and then, this afternoon, I had a couple surprises for you guys. I got some keto mail to open, and we're going to give you my review on moon cheese. If you're not from Canada, you might not understand why I was dancing in the grocery store. I found me moon cheese. Like, moon cheese at my local grocery store, dude. Locally. What? Now, it was pricey, but we're going to taste it, and I'm going to tell you guys what I think of it. I'm so excited. So tune back in a little bit, and we're going to see what came in my mail. Spoiler alert, you guys are going to die. It's so awesome. I can't wait for you to see. You don't want to miss it. See you guys soon. Bye, darlings.